Hi, hello, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. I am speaking to someone who is either investing heavily in their spiritual development, or reinvesting heavily in their spiritual development. And it's kind of interesting that I just peeked over, so my windows are open, and I felt a little insecure about it. So it's like you could be doing this solo at the moment, or with a very, very selective group of people where you're learning a lot of new spiritual things, spiritual theories, spiritual lessons, spiritual practices. As I was sitting down, I felt a lot of heat in my body, and I knew I wanted to talk about spirituality and creativity and some of these more ethereal topics because the sun has officially moved into Pisces. And whether you're Pisces, you identify as Pisces or not, we all have Pisces in our chart. It's either prominent in your chart or it's not, but we all have Pisces in there. And so I wanted to honor the feels of the season from happy solar return if you are a sun sign Pisces. Otherwise, you don't have to be a Pisces at all as far as how you identify with your zodiac signs, right? But there was a lot of heat coming out of me, which made me think like the fire elements and the fire wands in tarot is spirituality. Each of the 4 suits represent a different plane in the holistic realm. So wands are spirituality. Swords are mentality, your mind. Cups are emotions. And pentacles are the physical, the earth plane, okay? And so I was like, well, I know I'm not specifically speaking to a sign here in this reading. This is for whoever needs it, but whoever I'm speaking to is definitely investing, reinvesting, accepting new spiritual gifts. You have new spiritual practices that you are practicing. And I cannot help, maybe it's the Piscean moon in me, but I can't help but feel a little bit uncomfortable that one of my other windows is also open, that people might hear me talking about this. So that might be something that you are also experiencing. I don't know, maybe not. And maybe it's just me being paranoid on my own spiritual journey. Also, maybe you have a witch wound. And then when I've only pulled out one card so far, and it's mediumship. And I kid you not, I did not cherry pick this card. I did this. I shuffled a few times, was tuning into the energy. I was recognizing I was very hot. I was feeling kind of uncomfortable. So you could also be just really feeling a lot of spiritual upgrades that feel kind of physically or mentally or emotionally uncomfortable at the moment. Okay, so I was doing that. We got mediumship. You have the natural ability to connect with departed loved ones. So you could legitimately be a medium, and now you're starting to really work with it. Or when I see mediumship, I just kind of automatically think more around of it more open. It's not just that you're a medium and you speak with crossed over spirits, but that you could be you work with different mediums, kind of like in art, you can work with different mediums. And again, this is very artistic, creative, spiritually focused reading, if anything. Hi, welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're returning. If you're new, my name is Vanessa, and I am Queen of Wands and Stars. I am an Aries with Piscean moon, and I like to work a lot with healing, and I'm a holistic health practitioner, and I'm an astrologer. Also, I've been rearranging my space a bit, and I've rearranged my desk so that I have all of my decks lined up, and it's just feeling much better in here. And I was going through my old photos, and this, I loved it so much that I literally like printed it out as a photo. But it's Belle from Beauty and the Beast with her third eye all lit up, and it says, "WTF are the planets doing now?" So you could also be getting into astrology, but really it could be anything. It could be anything. Give me 1 second. Because even though this bag, these coins, even though it's kind of warm, I feel much better with the window closed. And there again, there's this like sensitivity around the topics that we're talking about. Or at least you're feeling that as you dive back into your spiritual practices and strengthen them. Or you could be a first timer in a way where you're learning how to read tarot for the first time, or you're learning how to work with cards for the first time, or you're learning how you're diving more into your birth chart, or you're, you know, working with your guides more. Maybe you're dream journaling more, so you're remembering your dreams more, and so your dream journaling practice is expanding. Maybe your meditation practice is expanding. Maybe you are actually opening up to communicating with crossed over spirits, whereas before you might not have felt comfortable with that. Manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. It's Archangel Michael there with his sword. Ooh, and a torch. And we have Archangel Michael again with his sword. Cut your cords. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. Okay, we've got the pre-feeling out. Let's do some tarot. I'm just so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful to be doing this. This is literally something I love doing. It's been a dream to do this kind of, you know, my dream, my dream wasn't necessarily to like read cards for people, but I really genuinely enjoy it. And another thing that you could be experiencing that I'm getting is having mood swings that don't entirely make sense, and starting to understand that you could also just be super sensitive to emotions, thoughts, energies, and you are starting to really recognize that those aren't always your own emotions if you're going through mood swings, or the thoughts that you have feel really like out of nowhere, like, and they take a turn in some way. The reason why I say all of this is because these are things that I'm currently experiencing, and that is a part of how I channel and how I read. I am clairsentient, and I'm beginning to understand more of my gifts in ways that it's not just that I physically will sense things if there are things around me, and I won't just pick up on it. Like, I can kind of read people's minds when they're around me. But it's also that I might just completely have thoughts that don't make sense to me, or that come in like out of nowhere. They don't go with the theme of how I was feeling. So earlier today I was like feeling it and trying to like blame it on like, am I PMSing, or like, am I detoxing, or, you know, and then I was realizing like, oh no, this is just, I'm a conduit. And as instead of running from it or trying to change it or like claiming it in a way, or using like alcohol or marijuana to calm it down, I'm understanding that as soon as I start doing this work and I channel it, my mood improves. I feel more clear. I feel more energized again. And so I'm starting to understand that if there's some kind of like funky or confusing feels, This applies to you. You could be feeling this or going through this. This is why I'm saying it. I'm not just the Aries that wants to talk about herself. I have to literally channel from my own experiences to give the proper messages to people. And I am finally now, after decades, understanding that. So if that resonates for you, good, cool. Like, don't think that all this stuff is just your own if you are on this spiritual journey. We have, keeping your mouth shut a little bit. Going through some transformations here. What else, Spirit? We're going to clarify these with the original tarot. I do have my cat tarot deck out. I don't have the box for it anymore, but I'm pretty sure it's called like the Psychic Cats Tarot, or I don't even remember. I've had this deck for a while. I love it. It's so nice. I'm definitely still going through it. Feeling some weird emotions that don't feel so happy. Yeah, this is like, you need to cleanse yourself. You need to pour that stuff out. Because truly, you are a High Priestess. High Priestess just came out on the deck. Sometimes I accidentally call my table the deck, so I'm just going to go with it, okay? It's fine. It's just kind of weird every time it comes out of my mouth. Like the deck. Like, so again, you could be in some sort of environment where you work with decks, or like you're like the manager on deck. Like maybe you work in a large for a large company with a lot of people, and there are multiple of you managers, and so there's like a manager on duty or a manager on deck. We used to call that, back in the day, I worked at Polo Ralph Lauren back in the day. It was a huge store, and I think there were like 8 different managers. This could apply to you too. You could be in a position that is not, like you could work for a place that is not spiritual. And you know that you are spiritual. And so it could be that you're finally so fed up of feeling all of these things, or like reading people's minds around you, or like it's like eating away at you. Wow, there's a lot of energy moving through me right now. There's a lot of like memories coming up. You rascal! You rascal! Devil card. Yeah, as the overarching theme here. Overarching theme. Tomato, tomato. Whatever. It's the same. Hi. Welcome to the life of being an empath, or really, really absorbing other people's energy. You very well could be a Pisces that I'm speaking to. So I see that there is a transformation happening, but it's not like everything's just going to become easier or better overnight. It looks like there's still some stuff to deal with, and primarily at the moment, it's these emotions and mentalities that don't feel authentically you, or they don't feel like the person you want to be. You identify as being intelligent. On the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Swords here. I love that the window's closed. Even though my other window's wide open, it doesn't make a difference, right? But there's something about that that's making me feel like in my own private enclosed space, I can really speak my truth. And so I'm feeling as though you're in an area of your life currently where it could be quite a social environment. I am definitely getting work. Or maybe you are currently traveling and you're sharing space with a lot of people, and you can't really have your own alone time or your own time for your practices, but you're really trying to make space and practice them. This towel is going to drive me nuts. There's something, woo! I don't ever get up in videos, really. If anything, it's just to like change the way I'm seated. Okay, so I'm feeling like you're very powerful. You have a lot to offer. And you are waking up to the fact that you've been sitting silently on a whole bunch of like spiritual gifts. My cheek is twitching. It's a lot of energy. But you do have the High Priestess here. You have a High Priestess, especially in the environment around you. So I think that you have a lot of spiritual support at this time. Your guides are coming in and supporting you, speaking to you. They can help heal and remove some of the stuff that isn't yours while you're learning how to transmute it and how to work with it. Because it's a lot. It's intense when you start to open up. Especially if you have gone through a detoxification period and you are very clear-minded, like you're not drinking, you're not smoking, you're not doing anything to like escape. And I just had the vision of playing a musical instrument. And that can be really helpful. Or painting. There are ways of escaping that aren't actually just like spiritual bypassing, like drinking or smoking or other ways of like distracting yourself from your gifts and your insights and the things that you're picking up on. And I think you have some cups that need to be poured out. You have some dirty stuff, and I'm saying this in a spiritual way, and I don't mean any offense to it. I don't mean anything weird by it, other than like this is the advice, is the 9 of Cups in reverse, showing me that you're not feeling emotionally like super amazing all the time right now, and that you need to cleanse yourself. You need to release some of this stuff. And so the vision of playing an instrument, so some of you could be musicians. I am also seeing painting or drawing, or poetry. You know, those are escapes that are not, you're not actually escaping. You're like, you're transmuting the emotions or the mentalities that you're not wanting to like sit with. And rightly so, too. Like, if it is your own stuff, like, sit with it. And, you know, you have to feel it to heal it. But a great way of feeling it that transmutes it into something positive, that it's a creation, is drawing, painting, poetry, playing a musical instrument, dancing, move your body. These are things that are also very Piscean in theme. And we do have the Queen of Wands here as the outcome. I love this one. She still has a little black cat. Ooh, and all the sunflowers. I could be specifically speaking to some fire signs, but again, don't worry about what sign you are necessarily in this reading. This is just definitely to a collective or specific individuals that know that they're pretty spiritually attuned and they're kind of sick and tired of having to deal with other people's bullshit with the understanding that they're like not, you know, that you're not fully allowed. There's something about like keeping it quiet, like how your gifts are strengthening, like being really careful. And it could be like a paranoia thing or just a discomfort kind of thing, but being a little bit more quiet. Like you're not like just going around sharing all of this with all of your coworkers, especially some of you could just work, you know, in a smaller place and you don't interact with that many people, but whoever it is that's in your environment that you have to be around a lot, maybe it's your household, people you live with, so family or a partner or grandparents or roommates that are not comfortable with the whole general idea of spirituality, or like tarot or astrology or mediumship or whatever. And then also that, I mean, okay, so that's me being kind of sugarcoating it slightly. I mean, that's totally could be just the truth. But there is also this kind of more like controlling energy or dark energy, or, I mean, the devil is here. Which is probably why we have cut your cords here. It lands right on top of cut your cords. Let's get some more spiritual therapy cards out here then. It's kind of just the way that my layout is. Indigo. You're a highly sensitive, natural born leader. Goddess. Express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Hi, I'm Vanessa. I read for men, I read for women, I read energy, which is genderless. And we all have a very unique balance of masculine and feminine energy within us. The yin and the yang. Yang. Ugh, yang. Yin and the yang. I like cats. I like dogs too. I like animals. But see these two kitty critters? That represents the Taiji pole, which is the yin and the yang. Whew! It makes my ears bleed when I hear people say yang. But I'm trained in medical Qigong, which is traditional and ancient Chinese medicine, and my teacher always pronounced it yin and yang. And so hearing Westerners just like butcher it over and over again, and so many readers say yang. Thanks. I just needed to speak that truth really quick and vent a little bit about my irritation around that topic. Not that I'm ever going to hear any of you really say the word, but now you know. Okay, and then we also have twin flame here. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. I'm honestly not a huge proponent for the whole twin flame journey because it's just 2222 on the clock. It's just a lot and can get people like it's like a little bit sticky. That being said though, there is this whole idea that like when you're on a twin flame journey and you are interacting with your twin flame, that your spiritual gifts come to life even more. And that there also can be a lot of like upsets and challenges and difficulties. It's like the problem with the whole twin flame journey, and just take whatever I say with a grain of salt, of course, guys. Like, and if you're not vibing with this reading, like, you don't have to watch it. There are others. There are other readers out there too, okay? But if you are vibing with what I'm saying, like, you know, you don't have to like, are they my twin? I don't know, there's all this challenge and we've been separated for months and, you know, like, don't accept breadcrumbs. Don't accept any, like, kind of, like, bullshit treatment just because you... okay, I don't have to go into that anymore. Sorry. Another one. Fairies. I do like fairies. Although fairy energy is trickster energy as well. So, you know, but that's a little bit like the... Oh my god, we're getting into some topics here. Take all of that with a grain of salt. Definitely on the bottom here we have vegan, vegetarian. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. I am going to eat some orange slices after this reading. Orange slices, jicama. I can't get enough jicama right now. We're going to clarify this reading with my tried and true tarot deck, okay? But But yeah, I am definitely sensing that there are people involved in this that are in your environment. It could be romantic, it could be co-workers, it could be family, it could be groups of people, friends, or community, or I don't know, classmates, I don't know. And I think that you're starting to really see how strong you are in the spiritual sense, your spiritual gifts, and that you're really being asked to do some cleansing and transmutation of the energies that you're picking up on, especially in this Piscean season, and especially if you have Pisces prominently in your chart. Check out also in your birth chart which house or houses Pisces falls in, because that, and then Google like that area of your life, look it up, because that will also show you where you'd pick up on more of these kind of more fluid, like spiritual dynamics, these gifts, where you'd want to maybe be alone and away from people to get clarity and cleanse yourself. But I do see you getting to the top of this. It's just like not going to be immediate. And there are some energies around you that you really need to clear and get rid of. Nature as well. That's what they're saying too. That getting out in nature can really help you. Okay, so we're gonna clarify this and wrap it up. I hope this helps. Like if you're here still, comment. If anything, and it's an energy exchange. I'm doing this because I love to, but also to help. Hopefully, like that's my goal, is to empower you. And so if you've found this to be of help to you, then liking, subscribing, commenting, they're all forms of energy exchange that really allow me to pick up on more of your energy for future readings as well. It is very, very truthful. Okay, so you've known about these gifts for a long time and you've sat on them and definitely focused a bit more on the 3D reality, 3D life around you, which is really common. We're not taking reversals with this deck. Okay. Wheel of Fortune, good. Page of Cups. Okay, so yeah, there could be like, a newer romantic thing that you could be like wondering if they're your twin flame. But I'm seeing that it's also kind of a cause of some of this off energy, or you could be a bit distracted at the moment by a love relationship that is maybe not actually like for you. Sorry, I'm just reading the cards. Again, this doesn't have to be for you, but I'm reading what I'm seeing. Yeah, I definitely get that your spiritual sense is coming in quick with information to you. And there are messages coming in from the environment around you that you're picking up on that are also telling you these types of things. Like I'm validating what you're experiencing. These messages are validation of that. If they resonate, check out my bio if you want to understand more about like what I mean by that. And you're being also asked to have a little bit more fun and to shake off some of these heavy energies, cleansing yourself. Yes, meditating, going out in nature, salt can be really helpful. It's just like processing information. When you start to read, especially with burps, it's usually energy processing through. But also spending time with friends and people that you really trust and that uplift you and that love you. And they probably also have some psychic abilities or are very open in that sense. they're good people to be around at the moment, because you are going through a huge transformation, and you really are, it might not look like you're coming out of this at the moment. I feel like you're in the middle of these thicker vibrations, these lower vibrations that you're really doing your best to not absorb, which is also a Piscean and a water element quality, Scorpio and Cancer as well, where you're kind of like a sponge energetically and emotionally and mentally, and you can pick up without even wanting to or trying to. You just pick up on energies around you. And so cleansing yourself, cutting cords, and also getting your emotions back in check. It's kind of like reclaiming your emotions, like your positive emotions, reclaiming your spiritual strength, reclaiming your light, because there's something about this that feels more fresh, that feels more new, that feels less known to you, even though you've had these gifts for a long time. I feel like you're actually starting to really own them and work with them and acknowledge them and practice. And just like when you go to practice a new language, or you're practicing, like maybe you're learning how to play a musical instrument, or you're learning how to paint right now, or you're in a new dance class, you're learning it. You don't just automatically pick it up. It takes time, and it can be awkward. It can be a bit uncomfortable at times too, as you're seeing yourself do these things and it just doesn't feel good enough yet. So take all of that how it resonates. Get out in nature, cut cords, cleanse your cups, like pour them out. Maybe you need to go and do your dishes right now. That's a message for me too. I have some dishes in the sink. I'm going to go do my dishes right now. Also drink more water. Maybe put in crystals that are safe to put in water. Quartz tend to be safe. I have rose quartz and ametrine in here, which is an amethyst and a citrine in one. But drinking more water. This is one of my favorite sprays ever. It's an aura cleanser and life force renewal. And I guess it's by Botanical Alchemy. But it's like flowers and crystals and like, what does it say? Anything like this. 7 essential oils, 35 flower essences, 21 gem elixirs, lovingly handmade in small batches with the highest quality ingredients. And it is local to the 805. So I don't know if you can buy this online or not, but it's amazing. But you can work with anything like that. Flower tinctures, getting out in nature, recognizing if you're feeling kind of funky, actually ask, is this yours? And continue along with your spiritual journey, because you are becoming that high priestess, that queen of wands. It can be the Hierophant. It can be an emperor, like the king of wands, right? If you identify as masculine. I'm speaking fluidly. I've got the High Priestess on the deck. I've got the Queen of Wands here. I have the Sun card here. And all of these nature things. And Archangel Michael is here a lot. Okay. I really hope that helps. Thank you for letting me read for you. 3333 on the clock. I will see you guys in another video. Okay, bye.